I just want to say, in terms of bang for buck, win or lose, I think Anthony Joshua is definitely one of the most entertaining heavyweights that I've seen in a very long time, and I am glad to some extent that the heavyweight division is in a really high place. I mean, you've got all these great fighters that are now coming through, like that likes of Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, obviously Usyk, you've got Hrgovic, you've got Tony Yoka, you've got Joy Joyce, you've got Joyce, sorry. You've got the likes of other fighters retiring, like Povetkin and all these other great fighters, but you also do have other heavyweights coming through, like Daniel Dubois. And I think regardless of the fact that Anthony Joshua does lose in fights, all of his fights are fun, entertaining fights that are quite fun to watch. I mean, if you look at his fight against Klitschko, that was a classic heavyweight fight. That is probably one of the best fights that I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. Then you've got obviously his fights against Povetkin. You've got his fights against Andy Ruiz, the first one, which was amazing. You've got his fight against Dillian White, the Usyk fight that happened a couple of nights ago, that was quite entertaining. Win or lose, I think Anthony Joshua is definitely one of the most entertaining heavyweights that I've ever seen, because he's almost got a bit like an Amir Khan syndrome, because Amir Khan, despite the fact that he's a world-class fighter with a lot of world-class skills, he does have a lot of world-class vulnerabilities as well. And I think it's the same with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, he does have like world-class skills. I mean, you don't become an Olympic gold medalist and have the athleticism that he does here without having some skills to go with it. But at the same time, he does have his vulnerabilities. His chin is not as good as its as other heavyweights, like for example Joyce. His stamina is not as good as other heavyweights like Usyk. He doesn't have the technical ability of an Usyk. He can be quite fragile as well, in the sense that, not fragile, but like he's quite robotic as well. So despite all of his world-class skill, he's got a lot of vulnerabilities as well at the same time. But that's what makes his fights entertaining. Regardless of what happens, he's always going to be an entertaining type heavyweight, regardless of what you think about him. So I think there's always going to be like all these fights that are just happening from the perspective of, I mean, every time Anthony Joshua fights, it feels like an event. It feels like something special that's about to happen, because you don't know exactly what you're going to get. You don't know whether he's going to completely bomb a fighter out or whether he's going to lose. Like the Andy Ruiz fight was a great example of that. So regardless of win or lose, I'm always going to tune in to an Anthony Joshua fight. But I just feel like you're never 100% sure what will happen. I actually predicted that I actually predicted that Thingy would actually win his fight. Usyk would win if he doesn't get robbed, because I just felt like he's just a better fighter than Anthony Joshua technically, and I was correct in my prediction. But regardless of that, the fight itself was quite entertaining, even though there was no knockdown. Anthony Joshua did get hurt several times. It was a competitive back and forth fight, and it was entertaining. So from that perspective, I think it's great. Anthony Joshua definitely is something positive for the boxing, for UK boxing and boxing in general. Regardless of what you think about him, he does create a talking point for boxing fans. I mean, everyone has an opinion on him, whether you're American, whether you're from the UK, wherever you're from. You don't get to the level of success that Anthony Joshua has and you're completely indifferent to him. You either really like him or you really dislike him. But regardless of that, I think it's great. I think it's great that we've got someone like this within the heavyweight division, because for the longest time the heavyweight division was not a division where a lot was happening. It just wasn't. It was a division that was stagnant for a long time. Even when the Klitschkos were ruling, they were monolithic, but there was no one to challenge them. But now you've got this state of the heavyweight division now, where you literally have a position where there's literally a lot of these new heavyweights that are coming up, and either one of them could become champion. Like, a lot of people did not think Usyk was going to win against him. a lot of people did not think that he'll be in a position to win against him. A lot of people didn't think Andy Ruiz would win against AJ. A lot of people didn't think Tyson Fury would knock out Tyson Fury would knock out Deontay Wilder. I mean, a lot of shocking things have happened in the heavyweight division, and I'm just thankful that we're in a position where we can witness this. So yeah, that's my opinion on Anthony Joshua. What's your opinion? Do you think he can come back from this loss? And where do you think he goes from here? Like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.